What is the future of the fossil fuel industry as global efforts to tackle the climate crisis ramp up in a year where a major oil producer, this country, the UAE, gets ready to host COP28? So, an awful lot to unpack. And earlier today at Abu Dhabi's Sustainability Week, I got a chance to do just that with one man who has an insider's view of all of this, the UAE's Energy Minister, Suhail al-Mazrouei. My main question to him was how an oil and gas producing nation like his defends itself while hosting the next big climate conference, COP28. But first, I asked him how he expects China's reopening will impact the oil market short term. Have a listen.
Well, definitely there is a demand pickup with China opening. But also there is a slowdown that we have noticed in the demand from the many countries due to the economic situation and how things are. We are also having a mild winter this year, luckily, for gas consumption. So all of these have helped also the demand side. There is an issue in supply. There is an issue that we've been always talking about, which is the lack of investments. And we are at a very important transition and we need to have resources available. The group is there. They will, OPEC Plus, they will always do their best.
How does the UAE's plans to increase production to 5 million barrels per day from the current just over 3 play into that equation? Because that is a significant increase in production and it is way above your current OPEC quota.
We are transitioning, as I said. One thing that is not helping is a high volatile commodity prices, whether it's oil. So we're trying to avoid what happened in the gas by encouraging investments. We spoke with everyone, we encouraged everyone, we saw very slow response. Therefore, we brought forward our target of 5 million to 2027 to provide the maximum support to this transition toward clean forms of energy. This leadership that we have in UAE, led by His Highness Sheikh محمد bin Zayed, have a vision and the responsibility as a responsible producer toward our partners and our customers. And we studied it very well, and we thought bringing it forward will help stabilizing the prices, avoiding high volatile oil market, and we are trying to do it with the group. We need to make the energy prices affordable during transition. People are thinking about 3 things, but they prioritize them differently: security of supply, affordability, and sustainability. We need to work on the 3 of them, not only pick one and say this is the most important and forget the other 2.
So the United Nations chief has made it clear that the continued use of and investment in fossil fuels puts the world on a climate highway to hell. As this country gets set to host COP28 at the end of the year, there are critics who say that upping investment in oil, and I know there are plans to up investment in gas here as well, fundamentally puts UAE in conflict with those global climate goals, to which you say what?
There is no base load currently that is available to consumers in countries that is a totally 100% green, unless you're talking about nuclear. So being practical, we know that the highest contribution will come from renewable energy. That's why we believe in it, we're investing in it. But at the same time, someone need to be investing in the base load, someone need to be investing in hydrocarbon.
So let me ask you this. What sort of oil and gas investment do you believe is needed before sufficient renewables are installed for baseload? And baseload, for the benefit of our viewers who haven't heard that term before, is the amount of power to meet fundamental demand by consumers.
Let's assume that the daily consumption of the world of around 100 million barrels a day is there. The decline that we are seeing is between 5 to 8%. So we lose 5 to 8 million every year. And a level of investment to bring 5 to 8 million barrels every year just to replace, to stay where we are, not to account for any growth, is $300 to $400 billion annually. The problem is the IOCs are reluctant because of their shareholders. There is no clarity on who is going to invest and what is the demand in certain countries moving forward. You need to juggle with the three challenges: sustainability, security of supply, and affordability.
The UAE is heavily invested in renewables, both at home and globally. You've invested something like 50 billion here and are looking to invest a further 50 billion. How realistic is an investment globally of over $1 trillion annually in renewable energy, which is what the climate experts say is needed to reach the net zero targets? Is that $1 trillion annually a realistic sum for investment in renewables? I mean, you're an energy man. You know this better than anybody. Is that realistic?
I don't think we're going to see that number, personally. I think it's challenging. In order to do such large-scale projects, you need champions. We created a champion, and we call it Masdar. And we pledged $100 billion or 100 gigawatt of renewable energy together with the United States, let's say 50-50. We haven't seen many pledging and bringing the financing to such large-scale projects. But we need to see, do people walk the talk like we did walk the talk?
What you're saying is unplugging the existing system before the alternative system is ready will cause more problems. Do you genuinely believe that we will get to a point where we can switch off the old system? And I am talking here about fossil fuels.
No, I don't think so. Certain countries maybe, group of countries maybe, but it depends on security of supply for many countries and what's available for them. So I believe that we will find technologies to take care of the CO2. We need to fight the emissions, not the fuel.